Hi, Callie. Welcome in. So, I know a little bit about you from our first intake appointment. So, why don't you just start by telling me about your early life and some things that have happened that are troubling you? It's nice to be meeting with you again, Dr. Smith. So, I guess I'll just start from the beginning where everything got messed up. My dad was driving drunk with my mom in the car, and he hit a pole, killed my mom, and then he went to jail for manslaughter. Obviously, he didn't mean to, but, it still happened. So I'm literally grieving the loss of my mother. I've come to terms with it. And my father is lost in a certain way, and I'm grieving for him because he's in jail, and I'll never see him again. So there's that, and that obviously put a lot of stress onto me and my little brother Jude. That put us into the foster care system. There was no one that we were related to that we could live with. So we were in the system. They didn't separate us, which was really nice. At least I had him. We bounced through 7 different foster homes until we got to the Fosters. I know it's a funny name because they're literally foster parents, but the Fosters, Steph and Lena Foster, they adopted us. But the process was dragging for me, really dragging. And for Jude, it was quite easy for him to get adopted. And some things happened that I regret, and I keep repeating these behaviors, and I don't know what to do. All right, well, I have a few things in my chart that show some self-destructive behaviors and parentifying behaviors. So let's start with the parentifying. What happened before you got adopted with Steph and Lena? Because I know an incident happened regarding one of your foster fathers, and it involved Jude. Okay, so Jude has always been different, and not many people take kindly to that. He's gay. And at the time, I didn't fully know, but I had an idea. The last foster home we stayed in before we got adopted by Steph and Lena was with a man and his wife. And the wife was okay. The foster father, on the other hand, was really abusive. He physically beat me all the time. And most of the time, I took the brunt of the beating because I wanted Jude to be okay. I didn't want him to get beat. I just feel this obligation over Jude because we had a mom and a dad, and now we don't. And me and him are put in these scary, abusive situations that we shouldn't be put in the first place, but we are. So I have to be there to defend him. I have to be there to take care of him. And in a way, I feel like his mom. And now that we have Steph and Lena, it's like I still do that. And I don't know how to fix it. But that incident that you're referring to, one night the wife was gone. I don't know where she was. I think she was out to dinner or something. And our foster father went out for a little bit to go get something from the gas station, something like that. And Jude went in his wife's closet and was trying on dresses. And he came home early, found Jude with his wife's clothing on, and obviously he didn't take kindly to anything like that. So he started beating Jude, and I heard it. So then I tried to get them to stop. He wouldn't stop. And so I took really extreme measures to get him distracted, I guess. And I took a baseball bat and I started beating his car with it because I knew that that was something he loved. And if he knew that was happening, he would get off Jude. So it worked, but then he kicked me in the stomach And so obviously I was winded, and he called the police and they sent me to juvie. And so this act of like helping Jude put me in juvie. And obviously I'm not upset with Jude, but you know, if I wasn't like that, maybe I wouldn't have done it. But at the same time, that's my brother. I was gonna save him from being beat. And then Steph and Lena found an interest in Jude, but then I come with Jude, so then they met me at juvie. They liked me, so then we got fostered into their home. They took me out of juvie. Okay, it's completely normal to want to defend your sibling in a situation where they're in trouble. And I think what you did for Jude was noble, but it was also impulsive, because taking those extreme measures is self-destructive and it is impulsive. But I understand you were thinking on your feet in the moment. So I have another incident that you briefly told me about. Tell me about when you caught Jude smoking weed. So I found out Jude was smoking weed, and he was getting the weed from his boyfriend, Noah. And Noah has a medical card. And I just don't believe that someone so young, at like 15, needs a medical card. But regardless of my intentions or my feelings towards having a medical card, Jude doesn't have one. So he shouldn't be smoking weed. And it's addictive. And he told me that he smoked before a test at school and was like proud of it. And he was like, oh yeah, I smoked before my test and I was really anxious, and then I felt better and I got an A on my test. And I was just upset by that, because he doesn't have a medical card. And even if he did, it's just a big excuse to get high. So I was just really upset, and I told him to stop doing it or I would tell Steph and Lena. And then we were at the hospital because my one foster brother was having surgery. And I went to go to the bathroom, and I'm walking and I see Noah and his mom coming my way to go show support for my foster brother in surgery and to say hi to Jude and all that. But I just couldn't help myself, because I feel like I went into like mama bear mode. I was like, why are you giving your kid pot? I don't care, but do you know that he's giving it to Jude? I don't want Jude smoking weed. And the mom didn't defend herself. She just didn't know that Noah was doing that. And she was like, don't do that again. It's ridiculous. And instead of coming and visiting after, she just turned around and was like, I don't think we should come visit. I think we should leave. Okay, so instead of telling Steph and Lena, you took it upon yourself to be the parent in that situation. And the mama bear, like you said, came out when you saw Jude's boyfriend Noah and his mom at the hospital, when they were just there for support. It wasn't really the time or place to say something like that. And with doing so, they turned around and left. So Jude and everyone else probably thought that Noah didn't care and didn't want to come support Jude while his brother was in surgery. So to fix these behaviors, whenever you have an urge to parentify or to act like Jude's mom, we'll get you a journal. Or if you already have one, you're going to write down those urges. And you're going to bring that journal to our next session. And we'll keep doing it until those urges get smaller and smaller. And you could talk about those urges with me. And I will tell you why they're wrong. And why Steph and Lena should deal with these things. And if it's something pressing that you're really worried about with Jude, you can tell Steph and Lena, because they understand that you had to be his mom basically for so long. So they know that you have those urges to protect him. And you know that they're good parents. You have to trust them and put your trust into Steph and Lena. Now, I like to point out that talking about these things, having self-awareness is the first step, and you have that. So the more you talk about it and the more you recognize it and write it down and talk to me about it and Steph and Lena, the more you're going to improve. Does this mean after this session you're never ever going to do that again and you're never going to parentify? No. Are you going to freak out about something that Jude did, or are you going to confront someone else for something regarding Jude? Probably. But you're going to be able to reduce that behavior to the point where it doesn't happen anymore. And you're not going to feel so worried and anxious about Jude anymore. Of course, you're his sister, and you'll always worry about him to a certain degree, but this type of worrying is because you've been parentified since you guys went into the foster care system. So that's how we can fix that. It'll be a process. It'll be slow, and you'll feel the improvement after a few more sessions. And we can also get Steph and Lena in on this if you'd like. If not, you can bring up those issues to Steph and Lena. Okay, I'll try those. And next week I'll come to you with the journal with the urges about the parentification towards Jude. Thank you so much. This has helped a lot, and I'm excited to get rid of these issues, or at least reduce them. Thank you so much.